Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
I'm so happy this story is back, guys.
What story? What are you talking about?
The LeBron of Feet. Remember that? Exclusively here at Basketball Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone ever suggest surgery?
Yeah, 2 doctors.
Why did you decide against it?
Because I went to the LeBron James of Feet, and he told me I should.
The greatest foot doctor in all the world.
What was his name again? He had like a cartoonishly German name, didn't he?
Dr. Hans Wilhelm Müller-Wohlfahrt.
It can't be real.
It's right out of Beer Fest.
No way.
We beat the Irish, so yeah, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good at feet, yeah.
His name is Dr. Hans Wilhelm Müller-Wohlfahrt. Wohlfahrt spelled Wohlfahrt. For the record.
2 extra H's in there.
2 more H's on H.
It's a really airy fart there.
How did we figure that out, Tom? I don't remember. Refresh my memory how we got to Dr. Wohlfahrt.
When LeBron was talking about his foot problems and having to go see the LeBron of Feet, it actually is about the newly acquired Golden State Warrior, Dennis Schroder.
Oh.
I can't say too much, but German doctors are great.
That's all he said.
Which, by the way, Dennis, for the record, you said too much.
Yeah.
You guys didn't even mention Dr. Wohlfahrt's nickname.
What's that?
Healing Hans.
Oh.
Healing Hans.
This guy's got great branding.
Yeah.
The Healing Hans of the LeBron of Feet.
There's an ESPN investigation in 2011 into the practices of Healing Hans. LeBron, when he was doing this LeBron of Feet thing, LeBron said this very earnestly. And in there, I think it was Dave McMenamin who asked him, where does this doctor reside? What country of origin is this doctor? And LeBron said,
No.
The poker faces aren't very strong.
Why are we so secretive about the identity of Dr. Wohlfahrt?
Müller-Wohlfahrt.
It's hyphenated.
Is it competitive advantage? No, because Dennis Schroder knows.
Apparently.
So anybody who cozies up to Dennis Schroder can get in on the Healing Hans.
Is this why they acquired Dennis Schroder?
And he fixed Brandon Pajemski's brain.
No. Hey, Steph, your knee is swelling. You know what? I got a guy. Healing Hans? No, I got the guy who knows the guy.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroder. He plays for the Brooklyn Nets. Let's bring him in. So we're here because LeBron mysteriously left for a week off the grid. And then when they asked JJ Redick, when's LeBron coming back? He said, I don't know. I don't know when he's coming back.
You sniffed this out, Tom. We got to give you credit. Last week you said, by looking at the calendar, seems like a nice opportunity to take a little break here. We sent James Harden on a fancy vacation, but LeBron apparently went back to healing Hans.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is if you ask LeBron, he says, if it was up to me, I probably would have played.
That was the weird about face. So you missed time, you're hurt, but they don't say you missed time because you're hurt. They say you missed time because of personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Curious choice. I wonder how the league feels about that in terms of transparency with gambling partners and all that. But then for him to come back and say, yeah, that shit wasn't my idea.
Excellent. Well played.
Yeah.
What a foist.
The foist is coming from inside the house.
Randy Foist.
When LeBron returned, he was asked if he feels like his foot injury is behind him.
No, it's an everyday thing. No, it's not behind me. It's an everyday thing. It's something that's been lingering for the last few years. So, but I was able to do a lot of great things.
I was able to do a lot of great things to reassure not only that. So he did a lot of great things.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of things?
Well, he saw Dr. Vorfahrt.
Confirmed by giggling us.
Did he go to Germany? Or does Dr. Vorfahrt come here on Lufthansa? Here's the crazy thing. We did a whole episode on this a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I have no recollection. I just remember the LeBron of Feet. I don't remember this dude's name. I don't remember anything from that episode other than the LeBron of Feet and that Dennis Schroder was the source.
He's treated Kobe, Usain Bolt. He's traded Ronaldo, Bono, and marathoners, marathoners.
So how did Bono get in there? I know we addressed this a year and a half ago, but still sticks out like a sore toe on this list. Athlete, lead singer of U2.
Maze, or Amin, can we get this quote from one of you guys?
People say miracle. I don't like this. But they think if we get a day in his office, then we get healthy. They come and say, now you are my last hope.
Now you are my last hope. Help me, healing Hans. You are my only hope.
He turns into German Princess Leia.
German Princess Leia, yeah.
I don't like this miracle image. I don't know the right word. It is not a miracle, but they look upon me as somebody who is a healer or whatever. They come all the way because they believe in me, and it is a high responsibility. This is because the name is growing and expanding.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, coach.
Hans, that was amazing. That's a great quote, Hans.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why this secrecy. Why all this secrecy? He looked great first game back.
He looked amazing.
Maybe it was a week off, getting his feet up.
Nope, it's healing hands.
Oh.
That's what that was. When he comes down the gut of the break and throws it down, somewhere, Dr. Vorfahrt is like, oh, there he goes again. Another miracle.
Expanding, growing.
Expanding, growing.
Do you believe in miracles? Yeah.
Yeah, coach.
My assignment. Uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
You've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the f*** it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
Why my eyes, sir? You've never used them before.
We are the basketball Illuminati.
This is Basketball Illuminati. I am Tom Haberstroh, and as always, I am joined by the 5-star Illuminati generals, Amin Elhassan and producer Anthony Mays.
Members of the Illumination can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/countthedings. You can also show your support by wearing a Third Eye hat or a Basketball Illuminati shirt or hoodie. Check out the link in the show notes or go to the Count the Dings store on Cotton Bureau and keep that third eye open.
We are going to bring on a truth teller OG, Jake Fischer himself, the People's Insider from the Stein Line. He is making his triumphant return to Illuminati quarters here. We have secured an open line for Jake Fischer. We're going to talk to him about the NBA Cup, but the latest dealings in the league. Trade season is here, and the guy who wore literal merch, an Illuminati hat, on this show is going to join us here in a couple minutes. But first,
you are listening to The Agenda with Amin Elhassan and Tom Haberstroh.
All right, we have breaking news from The Athletic. They did a survey. I always love these. The players survey. There's the GM survey that happens over at the NBA. But this one is they interviewed or sent out a questionnaire to 40 different executives within the league, NBA League.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not the G League.
NBA Cup, the Emirates League, of course. Did a survey about who is the best GM or the best run organizations in the league. And Amin, number one on the list. I thought it was going to be Boston. Mm-hmm. They came off a championship, Brad Stevens and their front office, Mike Zarin, et cetera, et cetera. No, the team that won for the best front office, most well-run franchise is the Wizards. It's crazy. No, they did beat Denver.
Oh, you rapscallion.
Tom, they did get one vote. Even that is a minor miracle to me.
First of all, shout out to this survey, right?
I love these things.
Go out there and find out, hey, man, who's the best? Because as you know, the Executive of the Year award is the only award that the media does not hand out. It's the only one. I don't know why. We can't evaluate that, but everything else can be evaluated.
Conflict of interest. Yeah.
And they included a footnote in this article that says since 2009, when the NBA took over the process, its winner has come from the championship team just 4 times. So how good could they really be, NBA?
Well, wouldn't you say, your vote could be for sale in these Executive of the Year awards?
My vote could be for sale for all of these shits. That was the Brian Windhorst theory when Anthony Davis needed to make All-NBA in order to get that kicker, right? Get the Supermax for him. Brian's point was, if I'm Anthony Davis, I'd send $50,000 to every voter. It's 100 voters, costs you $5 million out of pocket, but you're going to make so much more.
Clearing $10 million.
It's way more than that. It was a $40 million bump or whatever it is. So it's for sale anyway. I don't understand conflict of interest. Like, who cares? We're all in the conflict of interest business as it is. Why is that the line, the sacred cow? Like, no, not the front offices. You guys can't do that one. But it is interesting, though, because from time to time, when you're chronically online, as I sometimes am, you see people say shit like, oh, Sam Presti, I don't know how much longer he's going to have or whatever. I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. This guy is an absolute genius at risk assessment and leveraging assets and leveraging everything to his benefit. A lot of people complain about Sam Hinkie, in the process, and it was bad for basketball. And all along, I was saying, you think he's bad. There's another Sam out west who's taking this shit to another level. But because it's Oklahoma City and not Philadelphia, there's a natural camouflage that's happening. But as you said, Tom, the survey goes out, 40 front office executives across the league, and resounding. It's not even close. Number one with a bullet is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if you've been following along, you're like, yeah, because every deal they do, they acquire 17 million picks. They own 1 billion picks between now and 2030, whatever. But what I realized, Tom and Mays, is we never talk about what happens to those picks. So I said, you know what? Let me find out what happened to these picks. And we generally know the start of this process was the day when Sam Presti realized, hey, this Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Melo thing isn't working. You got to detonate it. So this opening salvo is Paul George gets traded to the Clippers, and we didn't even know that he was available. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know you could trade for someone who seemed like they were in a happy home, right? That trade happened on July 10th, 2019. They traded away Paul George. They acquired Shea Alexander and a bunch of other shit. And the big thing from draft capital they got was 5 firsts,
all unprotected, and 2 swaps. And I said, what happened to those players? 2021, the number 18 overall pick, Trey Mann.
Okay.
Tom, you're a little familiar with him, right?
Yeah.
Good player. Having a really nice year. Okay. 2022 is the number 12 overall pick, so that's a lottery pick. Jalen Williams.
They kept that one.
Not the one who's hurt right now, but the Jalen Williams, everyone's like, he's going to be the first all-star from the Phoenix greater metro area.
Yeah.
We've never had an all-star. It's just crazy.
When I did that project, Amin, in the offseason of if every state had an Olympics team, basically, like the state Olympics, the Arizona team was not good at all. I was like,
they're okay. They're okay players. Mike Bibby, Richard Jefferson, Jared Bayless, Channing Frye, Fat Lever. But I think Fat Lever might be the only all-star from the state of Arizona. He's from Tucson, or the greater Tucson area.
But I digress, yes.
Jalen Williams has a chance to be the first, and Jalen Williams is one of the picks that the Clippers gave up for Paul George, who, by the way, does not play for the Clippers anymore. That's an important footnote to make right there. All right. 2023, the number 18 overall pick, Jaime Jaquez.
Wait a minute.
Now, they had traded the pick well before the draft. The KZ Okpala deal that the Heat did, which I believe was a cost-cutting move. They sent out KZ Okpala and a first-round pick that still hasn't been realized yet. And in return, the Heat got the 2023 first-round pick, and they used it to take Jaime Jaquez. But nonetheless, that is the Clippers pick. Now, we still have 2026 completely unprotected, and we've got 2 pick swaps there. That's just from one transaction. A week later, basically, on July 16th, they trade Russell Westbrook, and they acquire Chris Paul and 2 firsts and 2 swaps. Those 2 firsts, one of them was this past draft, Nikola Topic. Again, lottery pick, number 12. Topic is out for the year with a torn ACL, but this is a guy who's a 6'6", 6'7" point guard that everyone was very high on going into the draft. Then, a year later, Danny Green, who had been acquired in the Dennis Schroder deal to the Lakers, trades Danny Green to Philadelphia to acquire Al Horford and a first. Now, you're saying to yourself, wait a second, Al Horford, yeah. So this is the deal. Al Horford is playing in Boston. He's playing great in Boston. Boston's great. Becomes a free agent. Philadelphia says, we need Al Horford because look how he helped them, and also will weaken them by taking Al Horford off their team. So they sign Al Horford to a big deal, and they say, hey, you'll be the 4 and Embiid will be the 5, and it is disastrous. That move doesn't work at all. They've got all this money they're paying to Al Horford. They're like, he turned into a pumpkin. He's 100 years old. What are we paying all this money for this guy? We got to get rid of him. So they say, oh, I know. We'll trade him to Oklahoma City because they're terrible. They're far away from us, and they have all this cap space. Oklahoma City, what's it going to cost? Well, we'll give you Danny Green, and all you got to do is give us a first. And Philly's like, that's cool. We got this guy off our books. We got a guy who helps us. He's a champion several times over. Fits perfectly with the way we want to play. All it costs is a first-round pick. Knock yourself out. That first-round pick, by the way, is protected, which is why we're here to begin with. And here's the kicker. That pick is top 6 protected in 2025. At the time, they do this deal in 2020. They're saying to themselves, a 2025 pick? Knock yourself out. This shit is 5 years away. We'll probably have won multiple championships with Danny Green here, right? Well, I don't know if you guys have been following what's happened to the Sixers this year, but this massive comedy of errors with so much destruction of injury. The Sixers are horrible.
And guess who's there? Paul George. The inside man.
There you go.
Continuing to pay dividends for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And now they have a very real decision to make. Do we tank this season to maximize our chances of retaining our pick? Because the worst case scenario is that they try to give it a go and they end up the 9th pick, right? Or an 8th pick. Actually, the worst case scenario is they tank and they lose the lottery, right? But the kicker to all this is that Al Horford then gets traded 6 months later to Boston, back in Philly's division, back to be an eyesore, and makes them awesome all over again. And you say, well, what did they get out of that? What was the point of doing that, Oklahoma City? Well, they got a first-round pick in that upcoming draft in 2021. It was a number 16 pick. You guys know who that was?
I don't.
It was Alper Şengün.
Oh, Alpy.
But he doesn't play for the Thunder.
Alper Şengün ended up getting traded to the Rockets in another deal. But the point is, this wild-ass 6 degrees of separation of Oklahoma City and every team in the league that seems to be doing well, except for the one team, or the 2 teams, where they've got unprotected picks coming from them. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Presti is the best general manager in the NBA, and that is an inconvenient truth.
It takes time to connect the dots.
I know that.
But also, I know that there could be a day of reckoning when you wish you connected the dots
more quick. What were we thinking? Why didn't we wake up when we had a chance?
Move it! Demolish it! Blow it up!
What gets us into trouble is not what we don't know.
It's what we know for sure.
That just ain't so.
Amin's Inconvenient Truth.
Communicate this real clearly. The only way I do it.
City by city, person by person, family by family.
There are a lot of people go straight from denial to despair.
Without pausing on the intermediate step of actually doing something about the problem.
Amin's Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, Amin seemed to have his own agenda there.
Yeah, he did.
Everyone's got different agendas on this show, you know? It's a problem. It's like Anthony Edwards said.
Everybody out there got their own agenda.
And involving the whole Al Horford situation, Boston's number 2 on this GM front office report card survey. Big surprise. A whopping 250 points following OKC's 350 points. That's more than all the other votes combined.
I mean, can you build a squad off of those draft picks? Like, can Topic, Jalen Williams, Alperen Şengün, Jaime Jaquez all play, or were they traded for each other, essentially? You know what I'm saying?
No, none of them were traded for each other.
So theoretically, the Thunder could have had Şengün, Jalen Williams, Jaime Jaquez, Trey Mann, and Topic.
Yep. They had Trey Mann for a little bit.
I don't remember the Al Horford era in OKC.
Dude, it's crazy, isn't it? I thought that he got acquired, and then they said to him, don't play, just sit your ass over there and we'll find a trade for you 6 months later. It turns out this motherfucker played quite a bit.
He played 28 games with OKC in that 21 season. 28.
That's way more than I ever could have imagined.
The team was 19-24 at one point. They finished 22-50. So they go 3-26 the rest of the way. You know what, Al? This has been great. Your services are no longer needed here, and you could just have a great time. We'll figure it out.
I love the idea they say we got to play him to make sure he has value. And then they're like, guys, we're playing him too much. We're winning too much. Get him the fuck up out of here.
Do you guys remember that the Al Horford contract spelled the end of the Jimmy Butler in Philly run?
Yes.
That was their answer to fix the Jimmy Butler sign and trade to Miami. We got Al Horford. We're good.
And it was supposed to keep Joel Embiid healthy because he wouldn't have to play 40 minutes. He could be the backup center. It'd all be great. And it was unmitigated disaster.
This is wild. The two teams that made the biggest swings, hey, we're going to get better. Doesn't matter what it takes. Philly and the Clippers. You could argue that those transactions led to their undoing.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's D-I-N-G-S. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS. Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
You all think I'm late. Well, I'm not late. And I'm going to stay right here and fight for this lost cause, even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth.
But the complexity and the gray lie not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
What is true and right is true and right for all.
You and I both know that that's just not the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Too messy. Keeps them up nights.
I'm here because in the end, the truth is worth the risk.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
I'm a grown man, you can tell me the truth.
Why is it people who want the truth never believe it when they hear it?
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really outrageous. I'm going to tell the truth.
Welcome back to Basketball Illuminati. Jake Fischer, how are you? People's Insider.
I'm here. I'm good to be with y'all because I'm with y'all and I'm good. How about that? How does that sound?
It's great. I'm a little upset you're not wearing your third eye hat. Kind of was expecting...
It's over there. Should I go get it?
No, I don't want
to. Look, I'm going to Barclays tonight. I took a shower for the first time in a couple days.
Nice.
And the hair's looking good. So I felt like I should not ruin the hair, even more so than what the headphones would do. So I apologize, but Maze has it and it looks beautiful.
Keeping that third eye open at all times.
We've already got a trade here. I guess 2 technically. We got Thomas Bryant going to the Indiana Pacers for to fill their backup center slot for a heavily protected second-round pick. And also Dennis Schroder from the Brooklyn Nets going to the Golden State Warriors. And now we're trying to figure out, is that the move before the move?
It might be.
And Jake Fischer and Mark Stein at the Stein line, you're reporting that, you know what, there's a little wrinkle here. Why don't you tell the people what the wrinkle is?
You know, we weren't even so aware of it yesterday. Like was it yesterday? Saturday. All the days blend together. So I sat down at like 4:00 in the afternoon on Saturday to roll together something that would have been enjoyable, and got a text message, check on Dennis to Golden State. And everything that was on the tray in front of me had to get put to the side. And so we're tracking all that down. I had to go pick up an antipasti platter from my local pork store. Shout out Emily's Pork Store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Big friends of the pod.
Big friends of the pod. I mean, they probably don't even know what a podcast is. This is such an old, like, if The Sopranos hung out at this pork store, it's that exact image. But yeah, I'm like waiting. This was like right after figuring out the Reese Beekman inclusion, going back to Brooklyn. And then I got a call from Philly as I'm literally looking at this butcher in the eyes, about to say, hey, can I pick up my platter? Got the call about Jared McCain. So Saturday was crazy. We didn't really figure out until yesterday, Sunday, that in regards to this new 2023 CBA, everyone's talking about the aprons, right? What the first apron doesn't let you do, what the second apron doesn't let you do. There's now this new clause that if you're traded by today, we're recording this Monday, December 16th, instead of the typical, you have to wait 2 months to be reaggregated again. This is like kind of a new wrinkle of the CBA to directly encourage this exact thing that happened. Someone getting traded on the 15th and executed, exacted, officially gone through the waiver wire by the 16th in order to have those players still be combinable in a future deal. So what does this mean to your original question, Tom? Dennis Schroder could in fact be included again by Golden State in another deal. He could be sent out the door with other players to potentially go get another bigger prize. So that is definitely something that is a real undercurrent, a piece to this puzzle, that why this deal happened now, not just the fact that Golden State lost won 2 of their last 10 games now after getting beat up by Klay Thompson's return game last night. And the DeAnthony Melton injury certainly was a big blow to their, they were like 12-3. They were first in the West for a little stretch. So they know they got to do something.
Amin, how many return games can you have? Like, this is the second return game for Klay. What is the statute of limitations on return game, the homecoming?
After the first one is done, we're out. Like, we're good.
I think we're done.
Now it's just a regular game.
Are you calling me out or are you calling Klay out?
No, I'm calling everybody. I did it yesterday, the second return game, and I'm just sitting here being like, how many times you got to do this? Is this a Curb episode? I think this is a Curb episode.
It's true.
The only way you can have a second return game is if you're like Mark Jackson. Remember Mark Jackson played for the Pacers and then got traded to the Nuggets? And they got traded back to the Pacers and then obviously leaves the Pacers again to go to New York, I want to say. He can have multiple return games because he left the Pacers twice. But if you left and now this is the second time we're playing you, not a return game.
I disagree. You get as many return games as you have championship rings with that franchise.
Ooh.
Oh.
So Klay's got 2 more.
So Mark Jackson shouldn't have had any return games.
Exactly.
Wow.
I like this. I like this balance.
So Charles Barkley never has a return game, no matter where he goes.
Never had a return game.
0.
That's kind of out of Amin's neck of the woods. Miami apparently, remember they put out a statement that there was not going to be a tribute video to Kyle Lowry or Caleb Martin when Philadelphia went down there because they only tribute players who won a championship.
That won the championship. Yep.
That's smart.
I thought that was pretty cold-blooded. Kyle Lowry was there on 2 different finals runs. He doesn't get any credit for the pennant.
Hey, Caleb Martin should have been conference finals MVP, right? Like a lot of people were like, hey, he should have won it. So, damn.
Wait, so my third eye is tickling right now. It's kind of twitching a little bit. So Miami sends Thomas Bryant now over to Indiana to clear a roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of feels related in some way, is that the Miami Heat clear a roster spot, the Dennis Schroder trade happens, people are connecting Jimmy Butler and Golden State. Now here comes Mike Dunleavy Jr. going on the record and saying, we really like this team. We really like it. I don't really think we need to, I'm paraphrasing here, make any big upgrades. I don't know. It kind of feels like this is the move before the move, Jake.
I think it can be both. I think if all goes well and this team is right back in the top of the West and Dennis is defending like he does when he's playing for Team Germany, and Steve Kerr got a very up close and personal look at Dennis Schroder playing for Team Germany, both in the 2023 World Cup and they played Germany again in those preliminary scrimmagey games that they do, right? And last year in the Olympics, and obviously what he's doing in Brooklyn right now, or what he was doing in Brooklyn this season, was some of his career best stuff. They're really hoping that Dennis can defend at some type of level, not just provide the scoring uplift. That's like the real piece of this. They really do need to have someone uplift their offense when Steph goes to the bench. So that's an important thing to have between now and February 6th. If it doesn't go so well, you could flip him again, or you're adding to this new Dennis Schroder edition and you're figuring out, okay, maybe the Kevon Looney, Trace Jackson Davis, front court platoon we have isn't good enough. Maybe we need to go get another big. Like, I think there's ways that they are not done, but they're not just sending Dennis out the door.
Well, Jake, here's the thing that I'm curious about, because you wrote about this. There was another version of this deal that was even bigger that had Cam Johnson, who I think would be a great fit for Golden State. What was ultimately the thinking to not go for the bigger deal for them?
Yeah, to be clear, I don't think that this trade, like the final discussions were like taking Cam out and we're making it a smaller version. I think, from my understanding, Golden State had interest in both those guys, and on the phones they were saying that. I don't think there was like a blow by blow, okay, we can't figure this out for Cam and Dennis, like as things got into the final 48 hours, 72 hours of this thing. I definitely know that Golden State had interest in both those guys. I don't think it was such a let's, add A plus B plus C equals D, and then we'll take out B and C and just make A equal D kind of thing. On a real negotiation standpoint, I think that was more of like a big picture-y, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Like think board, on the whiteboard, we would like to get Cam and Dennis. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith has plenty of value too for a playoff contender. I'm sure that there were some talks there. The other complicated thing here, and this is something admittedly I'd like to make more phone calls about this week, Brooklyn is the one team looming out there with real cap space that could go out and throw a restricted free agency offer sheet at Jonathan Kuminga, who, in theory, if you're the Nets, and you're giving up 2 legitimate starter caliber players to a team that is trying to win the title, you would want to probably get that guy back. So that's the type of stuff I need to call more on this week, candidly. But yeah, I think ultimately once teams call, they say, hey, we like this guy, we like that guy, who do you like on our roster? When it got to real negotiations to make this thing happen over the last, couple days before it happened, I think it was pretty centered on just Dennis.
There's a lot of weird things happening in the league. For instance, Jonathan Kuminga is starting over Draymond Green. Draymond Green has decided, I'm coming off the bench. It seems like they're load managing, not just Draymond, but Steph. They bring in Dennis Schroder to take some load off of him. What is the Jonathan Kuminga market looking like? Because he could potentially be in a package going to Miami in a Jimmy Butler deal, but who knows if Miami wants to take a flyer on a guy who's going to be a restricted free agent, who is still 22 years old. So he's not quite on the same timeline as Bam Adebayo, but similar with Tyler Hero, who I think is 24. I mean,
counterpoint though, Jimmy's got an opt-out. And so Jimmy, theoretically, maybe not in practice, but theoretically, he could walk and they could get nothing. So part of this in play is the desire to get value for Jimmy Butler on some level, because they know they don't want to pay him either the years of the money he's looking for, but also they can't just let him walk and then, all right, now we're just a Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat team. Kuminga's a guy that you get halfway through the season, you get a look, and if you like it, you have the tools to keep him. And if you don't like it, then at least you tried something.
Yeah. The Kuminga thing in Golden State is so interesting, to Tom's point, being that if he plays really well, trade value is going to be through the roof. But also, if he plays really well, you're probably going to be more inclined to want to keep him.
Yeah.
Same thing on the opposite side of the spectrum. If he doesn't play poorly, if he plays poorly, you're probably going to be more inclined to want to move him, but his trade value will be on decline. So that's why, like, you want to, in theory, avoid this situation and come to the extension agreement if you're both sides, if you're player and team. And I think that's far more, I mean, we're seeing it around the league now. I don't know off the top of mind. I probably should have wrote about this and like committed it to memory, how many guys of this rookie extension class were eligible to sign and how many did not, because you just talk to any agent, any team executive right now. The name of the game is so simple. You don't want to go to free agency. Look at what happened to our guy, Caleb Martin, who did not get Eastern Conference Finals MVP and did not get the contract that he wanted to. Gary Trent did not get the contract he wanted to. I don't want to keep naming names and calling out people who didn't get money, but it's just the opposite side of that coin is you want to get traded to the situation where, you know, like Pascal Siakam in Indiana, the Pacers were pretty damn confident he was going to want to extend there or re-sign there. And I think Pascal Siakam and his side of things were very confident that the Pacers were going to reward him with the max contract that he did get. That deal gets done. You don't want to be in this situation like Kuminga, Golden State, where you need each other, but also like you could potentially be exes very, very soon. And either of you could pull the plug on the relationship. It is a very curious thing.
By the way, this is the Sam Presti philosophy.
Yep.
Right? Sam Presti famously was like, we don't let him get to free agency. Reggie Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, who they did extend, Jeff Green. The one exception, the only guy they didn't do that with,
whoopsies,
was the one that burnt them the worst, which is Kevin Durant, 2016.
And the Jimmy thing, too, to go back to an OKC guy, Jimmy's situation right now, upcoming next summer, what Amin talking about with his player option, that really reminds me of James Harden in Philadelphia 2 summers ago, where he could have opted out, could have walked on the open market, but there wasn't stuff for him. Ime Udoka in Houston, we don't want you, James. I'm sorry.
He came out with that one.
And there wasn't really anywhere else for him to go. So what does he do? He opts in and says, I want you to trade me to the Clippers. And at the time, a lot of people in the league, I was very doubtful myself that they were going to be able to call their shot like that. Lo and behold, they get it done 2 months into the season. Like it was November 5th or something like that. Jimmy's in the same exact boat. There's not many teams. I mean, everyone, Brandon Ingram in New Orleans, he's not going to have a very wide, optionality for a potential unrestricted free agency home for him to just walk into. And not everyone can sign with Brooklyn, right? If Brooklyn ends up clearing $70 million in cap space, well, you can't give everyone the $40 million payday that they're wanting. So someone's bluffing, whether it's Kuminga, the interest with Kuminga, whether it's I'm not drawing that straight line to everyone to Brooklyn, but I'm saying we're going to hear Brooklyn listed for everyone. Jimmy Butler is going to be, if he opts out, you're going to hear all the buzz. Well, Brooklyn has $70 million in space or whatever. And it's just, I don't know if that's going to actually be there. I think that's part of Miami's thinking and all this too. Like, where are you going to go? You're going to opt out? Who's paying you the money?
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Through the Starbucks College Achievement Plan, full and part-time Starbucks baristas receive 100% upfront college tuition coverage so they can focus on achieving their dreams, not how they'll pay for school. And those dreams might start with a degree in management, biochemistry, or any of the more than 150 offered. At Starbucks, benefits like college tuition coverage are just the start. Learn more at starbucks.com/partners.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, enjoy a welcome offer of 200,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
A lot of money in this NBA Cup that is on the line for all the teams that are vying for it. Your first piece over at the Steinline was about the future of the NBA Cup and all the international EuroLeague swirlings as well, and just what is the future of this, and also with expansion. Right after your story got posted, Joe Varden at The Athletic reporting that FIBA is now in talks or exploratory talks with the NBA in some sort of partnership, licensing, NBA League, Europe style. So you were ahead of that story as well. What is the latest, Jake, and what is your understanding of the future of NBA Cup and the expansion overseas potentially to like a NBA Euro? I don't even know what it would be branded as.
To be clear, I think we're talking... Everything I'm about to say, I think, is over the lifespan of a 5-10 year conversation. That's how the league office operates about this stuff. They're always trying to, this new TV deal is taking care of the next 10. So they're trying to figure out ways to build on top of that, right? And back in the summer when Adam Silver was over in Paris for the Olympics, there was all this buzz about how he was meeting with EuroLeague officials and FIBA guys and trying to figure out how to potentially create this NBA European League. And the details were kind of murky, I think, even still now. Like, the chatter behind the scenes is, would they just buy EuroLeague? Would they just try to make a competing thing? I don't know. I don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be. But what I do know is the NBA wants to have a continuingly increased presence overseas. Of course, we see the Paris games, not the Olympic games that we were just talking about, but Indiana and San Antonio, right? They're playing back-to-back games.
Why would they pick them?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And then, every year now we're getting a preseason tour of Abu Dhabi, what country does Emirates, the new title sponsor of the NBA Cup, do their business based out of?
And by the way, the ref jerseys.
And the refs' jerseys, which someone did ask me. They were like, where is that money going? Where is the jersey sponsor for the refs? Where is that money going? It's probably not going to the refs.
BRI, baby.
Who's to say? So, yeah, I went to JFK on the Tuesday that the NBA Cup tipped off. They had James Worthy and a bunch of influencers literally fly on an Emirates plane with the NBA Cup trophy.
Why did you have to distinguish James Worthy from the influencers? Can't James Worthy be an influencer? Can't he just be with his peers, Jake?
Can't the influencers be worthy?
It's true. It's true. They were worthy enough of a round trip flight to Abu Dhabi, where they then accompanied the NBA Cup like some sponsored Olympic torch across the country, across the globe. And Emirates officials were there on the scene talking about what a momentous occasion this was. And they had an NBA plane. It was wrapped in this NBA paint job. And for some reason, the first class on this flight that was flying it's still flying until tomorrow. December 17th is the last day, equivalent with the NBA Cup championship, that this NBA Emirates plane has been flying all over North America.
What happens to the plane, though, after the paint job?
They've been using it. It's been in their fleet.
So you might end up on a NBA plane if you take an Emirates flight during the NBA Cup.
Wow.
Yes. There have been probably hundreds of people. Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's been flying for the last 2 months.
There are dozens of us. Yes.
There are many of us. I hope someone is listening and you guys can find someone who was lucky enough to fly on the Emirates NBA plane and they can regale you with the tales. But it was so funny. Like Adam Silver walked down to the tarmac and took a picture with it. And he was saying of all the things in the NBA, this is one of the greatest days in the NBA's history to have their own plane.
I agree. This sounds awesome.
Yeah. It was crazy. All this is to say, I don't think Emirates is putting their name and paying a lot of money on this tournament that is inspired by overseas international soccer. And according to my reporting, one of the original ideas that the league wanted to do for the NBA Cup was to bring in 2 European teams, make it 32, half of the NCAA tournament, have it be a single elimination tournament, and go from there. There's been the idea of potentially having all the losers, all the teams who don't make the playoffs.
The losers, yeah.
Go.
The Loser Cup?
The Loser Cup. Go have some like second season in Europe. That idea never really got off the ground, to be clear, from my understanding. But all these pieces and the fact that the NBA is starting to allow governance and ownership pieces of the pie to be sold to these foreign entities, I'm just starting to connect all these dots. My third eye is definitely twitching and wondering how far down the line is maybe this Vegas Final Four. Maybe that's just in Abu Dhabi one day. Maybe it's even bigger. Maybe one day when the league has this European league of sorts, whether it's EuroLeague, whether it's their own competing league,
right,
maybe they're going to have a European bracket mixed in with the NBA bracket, and it's a whole bigger caboodle, one, single elimination type of thing. They don't have that answer, to my knowledge, like ironed out yet. I think there's still all these pieces in play, but I'm just waiting to see if we could figure out how to get some European flavor, some Middle Eastern flavor, and make this thing a super global entity. Because I think that's the biggest criticism right now of anyone who does critique the NBA Cup. It's that, all right, these are just regular season games with a different court and like a little bit more money at the end. So we'll see. For now, I've been told they're very focused on trying to make this iteration work well before adapting it. But I don't know. Emirates is sponsoring the NBA Cup, and the NBA Cup doesn't take place in the UAE.
It's not American Airlines Cup.
Exactly.
The interesting thing, so talking about this European dalliances that the NBA has, which Commissioner Stern, years and years ago, he had this vision of, we're going to have NBA Europe over there. He had a lot of these kind of I won't call them cockamamie, but very pie in the sky things. One of them was an NBA franchise in Europe, or franchises in Europe, London, Paris, Berlin, whatever. But then there was another one where it's like, okay, we're going to have our own European league based out of Europe that is run and operated by the NBA and with NBA standards, right? So that had come and gone, and I thought it kind of went with Stern. But the Varden story was about how FIBA is in talks with the NBA to do something there. And now I know what you think is like, oh, why would they? Don't they already have EuroLeague? No, because EuroLeague is a private enterprise. It is owned by, I believe, 12 member teams, the big ones that you've heard of, Real Madrid and Barcelona and Efes Pilsen and all of them, right? They own it, and then they have some at-large bids that they give out. And most of the at-large bids go to the teams that win the Euro Cup, which is the minor league version, not minor league, but like the next tier of competition down from Euro League, also owned by EuroLeague. Now, here's where it gets interesting, everybody. The charter teams have a license that expires after the 2025-2026 season.
Look at that.
Now, they have verbally committed to re-upping their license, but nothing has been signed or agreed to yet. Enter the NBA and FIBA. Well, what was it? Why would FIBA get in bed with the NBA after they've always been kind of very standoffish? Well, once upon a time, the EuroLeague was a FIBA entity. They ran it. They ran it like the UEFA runs Champions League. In 2000, the big club said, why are we doing this thing? We're the ones that bring in the money. We're the ones that are running this shit, basically. They basically pulled the Super League, if you're a soccer fan. They pulled the Super League move and pulled it successfully. So FIBA's kind of been on the outside looking in of elite club basketball play in Europe in terms of the money-making and all that. So now they're like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're going to get together. They want to create this thing. And instead of David Stern's idea of having the Berlin Barons and the Madrid Matadors or whatever, you get the legacy programs. You get Barcelona, you get Real Madrid, you get Asbel up in Paris. And now you don't have to do any of this counter-marketing against these powerhouses. You got them already. And then you introduce NBA money, NBA marketing, NBA business practices, and you elevate this whole thing.
You could get James Worthy over there.
Get James Worthy and influencers.
And then they license out the NBA brand, and it's a partnership just like the existing EuroLeague, where it's like you can go play in your domestic leagues, but maybe during the week or a couple times a year, you come over to the United States and play. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is the logistics of it.
I think they are still too.
Now what we're looking at is, okay, if in several years we have a NBA Europe League that is sanctioned by FIBA, right? Competing against EuroLeague, yes, the actual EuroLeague, yes, but guess what? We've got all the big names. All the hot shit want to be with us over here. Now you've opened the door for what Jake is suggesting, this NBA Cup or this whatever tournament that happens in Abu Dhabi or happens wherever it does. But instead of having, like I said, the Berlin Barons who are still trying to figure out how to be alive and functional, you're getting legacy teams. You're like that stadium is not just filled because people want to see NBA players. They're also filled because these are people that have an affinity with all this stuff. And you get a more competitive product, I think, as opposed to trying to poach the best players in Europe from the legacy clubs. You already got the best players in Europe. So now we're getting great competition. This thing grows. I love this. I love this, like you said, Jake, this Machiavellian planning years in advance to take out basically this obstacle. I won't call him a rival because there is no rival to the NBA, but it is an obstacle to making money in Europe.
Bring the competition to you or bring your competition to them and beat them in their own sandbox.
So wait, doesn't this mean that the Spurs don't want this? San Antonio Spurs are like, we got Wemby, and now you're going to build a French team or have a French team in the NBA. We're never going to be able to keep Wemby now.
Well, they're not in the NBA per se.
Rudy, how do you feel about this, having the NBA have a French team there in Paris?
More bidders for Rudy services. C'est bon.
Okay.
I like this. More francs.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, he's on it. Jake, one of the other things I think you talked about, or maybe I saw it somewhere else, was that the idea that the Emirates Cup is going to be in Vegas apparently isn't even set in stone for next year. Have you heard any of this? There's this talk about it could be anywhere. It could be in Abu Dhabi next year.
I don't know about the specifics of the contract with T-Mobile Arena, but one thing I do know is that the league is absolutely looking at this on a year-by-year basis. Like the schedule was such a different thing last year. I forget exactly how the days of the week worked, but
it was Thursday for the first game, and then I think the final was on a Saturday, I want to say.
Yeah, it's different this year for another example. Like they are really trying to navigate this on like a year-to-year basis. So if Vegas hasn't done enough for them, not saying like Vegas needs to be trying to keep the NBA, Vegas and the NBA's relationship is pretty well established at this point. And I think everyone still fully expects there to be an NBA franchise there when expansion comes. But yeah, I see a world where the Cup is something like the Super Bowl or March Madness, where it's a traveling thing. Maybe it does go somewhere far and wide. You've been more apprised, Amin, on what the Vegas hosting situation is.
I'm very apprised. Yes, thank you. But I'll tell you one thing. While the NBA loves Vegas, from what I gather, they are less than thrilled about T-Mobile Arena. It's like it's never been said to me directly, like we hate this place or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I get the vibes. They don't feel like it's up to NBA standards.
Got it.
Which is pretty interesting because it is a new building.
Why don't they just get on the phone with Jimmy Dolan and say, "Yo, the Sphere,
dude,
let's clear out."
The Sphere would be sick.
I mean, they're on great terms, the NBA and James Dolan right now.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you can just hop on the phone and James will be like, come on down. We got the Sphere state of the art right here.
The other thing too, maybe it's not even just about infrastructure. I went last year, right? And it just felt, I went to a London NFL game when I was studying abroad in London in 2012. And it was just weird. Like the crowd didn't know. All the crowd wearing Packers jerseys and 49ers jerseys and whatever jersey you want to the Patriots-Rams game I went to. It's like such a convention of, the NFL fans are here. It was weird that there wasn't a codified, we're cheering for this team and these people are cheering for... I had never been to an NBA game that wasn't a home game before. That exists in the Paris games we were talking about when you go down and play the Mexico game. Mm-hmm. But when it's on U.S. soil in particular, and it's supposed to like mean something extra. Like the other games are just regular season games in a different location. This is supposed to be the marquee event, the title, the cup. And the crowd was showing up 5 minutes before tip for the championship. And the non-Lakers games were very, very quiet. And I think the Lakers had the very, geographical advantage to bring fans on a short notice thing. So the fans getting there, I think, played a factor in them moving. Now it's a full week since you clinched, right? The championship game, Tuesday to Tuesday. But I don't know. I think having it in a different location might also increase the potential for a real attendance situation.
So one of the things that's been discussed about that, to that exact point, is apparently the NBA Cup games have something very in common with NBA All-Star Weekend, which is the fans in the seats, by and large, are corporate partners. The number of actual I'm going to go to Vegas and punk down however many hundreds of dollars to watch this game. There aren't that many of them. So a lot of the dead energy that you sensed last season, and it was a little better this year. But again, it's kind of skewed because a lot of I was at the Hawks and Bucks. I'm like, there's a lot of Atlanta fans, and it's because the Falcons are playing Monday Night Football
in Vegas.
2 days later, so there was just a lot of Atlanta people who were in town already.
Yeah, I need Ray McLeod to do it for me tonight.
Yeah,
he already did it for you, Jake.
He already did it for you. Yeah,
yeah.
Congratulations.
The point being, it's absent the Lakers or absent the Falcons playing Monday Night Football against Vegas, you're getting people who are, by definition, are dispassionate. They don't have skin in the game. It's not like what the NBA wants in the pie in the sky is they want it to be like a bowl game, right? Going to the Peach Bowl and ASU is going to play against the winner of Clemson and whoever. It's
and they're staying at every hotel.
Yeah, all these people have already I have all these friends who have booked the hotels and flights to Atlanta on January 1st. That's what they want. They want this thing where, hey, it's Thunder versus versus Bucks, they want a bunch of people from Oklahoma say, oh shit, we got to get out there. The problem is, in a Final Four type of scenario, I don't know. It's just, I don't know that there's enough lead time for people to make that leap.
That's why I think this is like the beginning stages of 2 weeks off in the schedule to have a big single elimination tournament, because the Blazers, like, they had 5 games in 7 nights, and then they had 2 games in 10 days. 2 games in 10 days. It's absurd how many days off we had, on broadcast. I was like, man, this is so weird to have in the middle of the season, just a week off basically. And it seems like this is kind of the halfway point between what I think is the ultimate goal, is to just have the league shut down for like 2 weeks and then have a tournament where you say all these teams can get together for like a single elimination tournament. And we're just making our way schedule-wise to getting there.
You can still have it where it's like high seeds have home games, those earlier rounds, right? And then when we get to the Final Four, it's still in Vegas. But I think a lot of that also is all we're talking about is tradition, right? So I went to Georgia Tech. I loved Georgia Tech basketball and all that stuff. Shout out to Damon Stoudemire and Bonzi Wells down there. But like, I, as a college basketball fan, don't know if they're going to make it to the Final Four, even though the Final Four tickets are on sale right now.
Right.
The only reason why they're able to do that is because we've already established that this thing is something important, which goes back to the beginning of all of this. The NBA has to keep doing, if it's going to be successful, they have to keep doing it in spite of everyone telling them, nobody cares, nobody watches, nobody's going. You got to keep doing it because that's the only way it becomes a thing.
I agree with Amin. There's a chance we wake up 10 years from now and Adam Silver's laughing at all of us. He's like, you idiots, all of you who complained, we just keep doing this and now it's part of it. Now it exists. We're going to be like, oh, the NBA Cup. If the Thunder, for example, win and then they win the title, they'll be the first team ever to have won both. Mm-hmm. And then the next year, whoever wins the NBA Cup, there'll be stories. Oh, are they the favorite now to win the title? And so on and so forth. It's going to become a thing. It will be part of the NBA's lore at some point in time if you keep doing it over and over and over again.
I just figured out, does that illegitimize the Celtics championship last year? Is that they didn't sweep both?
Because they didn't double up?
Yeah.
Clearly they weren't that great.
It's going to be a thing.
If Oklahoma City does this, where they clear both of them, then I think every other championship since the NBA Cup started, it becomes kind of,
Yeah.
An asterisk.
So here's the other part about this. The other part about this is what I said last year. Somewhere, there's like a 12-year-old kid who's a big Laker fan, who watched the Lakers win.
And Yankees fan.
And Cowboys fan, but not anymore.
It's weird.
Sometimes, I don't know.
Duke, too. Yeah.
Cowboys aren't having a very good season last time I checked.
Yeah. So there's this kid who's watching the NBA Cup and sees his favorite team win and sees how they had like fun celebrating whatever and thinks to himself, I want to do that. Maybe that kid is this year. He sees the Thunder and then the Thunder sweep it and like, that's what I want to do. And then 8 years down the line, that kid's in the league and guess what's on his to-do list? I want to win MVP. I want to win NBA Cup. Like it's not for us. That's the crazy part about all of this. This ties it back all the way back to what you talked about, the European plans.
Think of the kids.
Subliminal brainwashing of future generations of NBA stars. Got it.
That's right.
It's a long con. It's one big long con.
And so just want to clarify, in this situation that you're pitching, this kid turns off the TV after the NBA Cup and then turns it on the next year when the NBA Cup starts again. So he missed the play-in game and the Lakers flame out.
Oh, well,
And does the kid know how to use a TV?
Maybe the kid is this year.
I do like it, though. But we've got a bunch of timelines here. So I want to ask Jake, earliest, most likeliest in order, the NBA having a Euro League, the NBA Cup being important, expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle, and then also this dream of having a Mexico City team. What is your most likely to least likely power rankings there?
I think the NBA finalizing whatever their EuroLeague deal is going to be seems to be closer than anything else.
Wow. Okay.
expansion was absolutely like the top thing that apparently the league wanted to do post TV deal. But this stuff, I mean, they were having talks about this summer, and obviously Joe Vardon followed up with it more. The NBA Cup becoming a thing, as we're discussing, I think we're going to need 5-10 years of just doing this over and over and over again. What was the fourth one?
Mexico City.
All these pieces coming together, and there being an NBA Cup that's thriving, the NBA having a EuroLeague presence, and the EuroLeague presence being a funnel system into the own NBA Cup that they have built, I think is probably all like a streamlined situation. So that's my answer.
One domino will fall, and then all of a sudden Mexico City will be the NBA Cup champions of 2037.
It's possible. It is possible. If we're all still alive by then.
You thought NBA stars were playing in Denver or in Utah? Just wait till Mexico City happens, and it's a 7,500 foot elevation.
So let me tell you, that first road trip in Mexico City, there's going to be a bunch of dudes who's like going to miss that charter flight out.
Good street tacos.
Fun town.
Jake, how can people find your latest musings? You're on X, but more importantly, you have a super stack now.
We have a super stack. From the makers of a super team, we've got a super stack with myself and Mark Stein. It's all at markstein.substack.com. And we're really going to be doing our best to bring you nuanced coverage of the NBA trade market from now through the trade deadline. And then we'll piece together all the leftovers as we go through the spring and really start to turn it forward to the draft and free agency. So if you like the NBA slop, if you like the rumor mill, if you want as much relevant inklings and dot connectings and opening your third eye-isms,
yes,
we're gonna be doing all of that. We're gonna be asking questions, and it's coming to you multiple times a week from myself, multiple times a week from Mark, and then we're gonna team up to do some co-byline stuff as well. So if you like the NBA transaction game, I humbly believe there's no better place to be following it along than the Stein line, markstein.substack.com. There you go.
And what was the Italian joint that is now sponsoring our show? What is the name of the place?
Emily's Pork Store. Really good Italian hoagie.